Hi, everybody. I want to welcome you to the Resident and Family Support Council meeting that we hold on the second and the fourth Tuesday of every month. My name is Lee Moriarty, and I am the Deputy State Long-Term Care Ombudsman. And we started bringing these meetings together to start amplifying the voice of those who live in long-term care. And I'm going to be getting into that a little bit more because today is actually one of the best ways that we can do it by going into a nursing home and bringing people together to talk about what it is that they need, they want, and they deserve. So I'm really excited about today's conversation. And I want you to know that anybody that may not have been able to make this meeting, please let them know that we have record these all the time and we put them on YouTube. We have our own YouTube channel where all of our meetings are recorded, and we put them on that in that spot. Right now, I think we're maybe have like 75 videos out there already. So it's amazing what we have, and it's a variety of different topics. So I want to encourage you to go out there and take a look at it. Whether you're working, whether you're living, whether you have somebody that you love, that lives in long-term care, these topics are really pertinent to everybody. So I want to encourage people to go visit our site. We recognize that not everybody can attend these meetings all the time, so that's why we do this. So please make sure that everybody is aware that the site exists so that you can watch these videos whenever you at your own leisure. I also want to take a moment just to thank the Illinois Pioneer Coalition for allowing us to use their Zoom account so that we can have these meetings. We really appreciate them allowing us to do this. So thank you to the Illinois Pioneer Coalition for this. And last thing I want to remind everybody about is we have a Facebook page, of course, just like everybody else. And that's a great place to go to be able to find out what the topic of the meetings are, because it gets posted there every other week, so you can be aware of what it is that we're talking about. And you can also connect to us through that site. So if you have any specific questions that you want to get addressed, you want to get connected to your local ombudsman, you can use that site also to help you for that. So be aware, we've got Facebook. I know we've got my partner in crime here, Stephen Maxwell. He also works with me, and he is putting that in. I know he's putting all the links into the chat as we speak. So pay attention through the course of the meeting, because Stephen does drop things in there all the time that have bearing on the conversation that we're having. So look at that chat. If you don't where that chat button is, it's typically at the bottom of your page. And it's the little air bubbles, like cartoon bubbles. And it does say chat underneath it. So you can always go there to see what Stephen is putting in there, as well as you can add your questions into that place as well. If you have any questions through the course of this meeting, please use that. Or if it's too much to type, or you're on your phone, or you just don't want to type it, you can always raise your hand as well. And that is also at the bottom of your screen. You can be able to access the hand, and I believe it's under the React button. So you can go ahead and under the React, which has a heart affiliated with it, you can go there, you can raise your hand, and it will allow you to be able to be recognized so that we can ask your question. And today's conversation is going to be very organic. So if you have got questions, please don't hesitate to raise your hand. But before we go to that conversation, I actually want to bring Jess. Jessica Belzy is our ombudsman specialist. We work together, and she does a phenomenal job of bringing awareness to all of us in a variety of different ways, whether it's through data awareness or legislative awareness, which is why we brought her here today. Jessica, you want to go ahead and share with us the exciting stuff that you've got on the horizon?
Yeah, Lee, thanks. I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to just give a quick little infomercial about what's going on with policy related to the Ombudsman program. So legislative session in Springfield is in full swing, and I know I'm going to be here back in a few weeks to present, but we wanted to make sure that you were aware of some of the things that are going on right now. We are trying to garner support, and we'll actually be asking for people to do witness slips probably starting Thursday of this week for bills that are going to be in committee next week. So that's why I asked Lee if I could just have a couple quick minutes to talk about the 3 different legislative initiatives that we're going to do. If you have questions about this, you can put them in the chat and they can be emailed to me and I can get back to you. I don't want to dominate what the purpose of our meeting is today, but I did want to just introduce you to our 3 legislative initiatives. The first one is outdoor access. It's Senate Bill 1263 and House Bill 1587. Federal regulation talks to a resident having the ability to come and go as they please, but it's not in state law. And so one of the things that we're trying to do is to get that right codified in state law, kind of mirroring what's in the federal state operations manual. But in doing so, we do have a caveat that if the resident's physician does an assessment and determines the resident would be a danger to themselves or others, that there would be an ability to restrict some outdoor access. So someone with advanced dementia who's living in a locked dementia unit, we don't want this bill to pass and then like throw open the doors, right? If it's not safe for someone to go outside, we obviously want to have some precautions to put in place. So we have that one. We have an AED requirement, which is Senate Bill 84 and House Bill 1287, that would require automated external defibrillators to be available in long-term care homes. And then discharge rights. This is similar to one we introduced last year. And we didn't get it across the finish line. It passed the Senate. We got it partially past the House, but we didn't get it finished. And so we've brought that back and are making a couple small changes. So be on the lookout for those. We would love to have residents and family members and staff members, if you support this language, filing witness slips. And I have a presentation that I will get to Stephen to link in the chat, but this is what it looks like. It's creating a witness slip, and it's basically walks you step by step through the Illinois General Assembly's website, each step to get so that you can put a witness slip. And when there's a committee hearing and our state ombudsman goes to testify, or one of the bills that's our initiative is called, there's an opportunity for, well, at the beginning, when that bill is called, the committee chair will say, we have 5 proponents and 2 opponents, or 200 proponents and, however many opponents. So we're hoping that we can get dozens, if not more than that, proponents slipping in support of our bills this year to really get the momentum and show our legislators that we really care about resident rights and we want to see them better protected. So we'll get a link to that recording. It's actually a WebEx video that I've recorded that's walking through these slides. So you'll have that available to you at the end. It does include this. And as I mentioned, we have some fact sheets over each of these bills that we can get out as well. So thanks for your time, Lee. I appreciate you letting me jump in and give my little infomercial today.
Oh, no, Jessica, it really is timely because legislation can be so important because that can really hold us sometimes to doing things just in a little bit of a higher manner. So thank you for sharing that. And we look forward to you joining us at our next meeting to really talk about these and to talk about how to go about supporting it. So I really do want to encourage you, everybody that's attending today, to join us next week. And you can even walk through while Jess is doing all of this and start slipping right then and there, which would be amazing if we could get people to start slipping in favor of our bills. And I also just want to add, I got on this last night and just started looking at some other bills out there that are important to me as a person. And I slipped in favor of a couple of things last night. It's really easy to do. So I just want to reinforce how easy it really is to do this. So please attend next week so that we can go ahead and support some of the ombudsman initiatives for the state this year, which I think most of you would agree with. So thank you. Thanks a lot, Jess.
Yep, Lee, I just want to clarify, you say next week, but you mean next meeting, right?
Oh, yes. Yes, I mean
Okay.
next meeting. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Like, it's not on my calendar for next week.
Yes, it's the following week, which would be, if somebody could give me a date, that would be helpful. I don't have my calendar in front of me, but it's always the second Tuesday of the month, and we're entering into
it's the 11th.
The 11th. Thank
Yep.
you. So it'll be March 11th. That is our next meeting. So thank you, Jess.
Thank you.
That's why this is timely, because next week it's probably going to hearing, and we want to make sure that people are slipping.
Yep.
So thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, well, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to dive deeper into our conversation today. I would like to invite Lisa, the ombudsman, who is in the room, sitting there. We've got five people that live in a long-term care community in Illinois that have joined her. Lisa, if you want to go ahead and unmute your microphone there. And Lisa, I don't know if we're going to get to see your beautiful face.
Yeah, I'm going to
She
stay
is
behind the camera.
okay.
I'll just be the director today.
Okay, great. Lisa is one of our ombudsmen, and she's a regional ombudsman, so she oversees the ombudsman program, kind of in the southern middle part of the state. So some of you may know her, and she is a very strong advocate for people who live in long-term care in that community. Lisa, what counties is it that you work with?
Effingham, Fayette, Clay, Jefferson, and Marion counties.
Thank you. So if you know anybody, Lisa is the person that you reach out to, and she makes sure that your needs get addressed accordingly. So with that being said, I'd like to meet everybody in the room. I got to meet them a little bit earlier, but I want everybody on this call to also meet them. Mark, why don't we go ahead and start with you?
Hello, my name's Mark, and I've lived here in long-term care before for about a year, and this last time I just come back a couple of months ago. So everything's been pretty good so far.
Great, Mark. Nice to see you.
I'm Barbara Benetta. I've only been here since December of last year, so everything's and so forth. So, God, okay. I got these confused. Hello, my name is Rose Lawrence, and I enjoy my visit here. Maybe I'll get to stay a little longer. Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name's Taylor Washburn. I've been here since the beginning of December 2024. I had a stroke in November. I'm only 40 years old.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shaya.
Name Daryl. Been here 5 years.
Daryl, you've been there for 5 years. Wonderful to see you. And he's a Cardinals fan, if you couldn't tell.
Yep.
Just
Big Cardinal fan.
big Cardinal fan. So we're going to be talking today about care plans and what that's all about. But before I begin, I am just curious, as I ask all of you, has anybody ever come to you and talked to you and asked you about what you like, what your life story is, who you are? Any staff member ever come to you and ask you questions about really who you are, what your world is all about? Has anybody ever done that?
No.
No.
Nobody's done that. How would it make you feel if when you came to live in this long-term care community, and somebody came in and introduced themselves and said, for example, "Hi, my name's Lee, and welcome, and I'd like to get to know you a little bit, have a conversation," and maybe do that around a cup of coffee and just kind of talk about, so where did you live? Where did you grow up? Do you have any siblings? What do you like to do for fun? What was your life's profession? What makes you feel good about yourself? What some things you don't like? How would that make you feel if somebody did that with you?
Now, that would be nice. It just shows to me that they do have an interest. If I had
Daryl?
to me about that.
Yeah, okay. Daryl, would you like that?
Yes.
Yes, you would. Okay. And now Shayla, you're somebody who is a younger person that typically doesn't live in the nursing home. You know, many nursing homes are filled with people that are a lot older than you. How would it make you feel if a staff member came and sat down and did that with you?
Great, it made me feel like they cared personally about me.
Okay. Do you think that would change the way if this happened right in the beginning when you first came in, do you think that would change the way you thought about the building as you were getting more comfortable with it? Do you think it would make you feel more comfortable? What would it do for you?
It made me feel more comfortable, like they know more about me.
getting to know more about you. Okay, great. Because that's something that I don't know if we do enough of that. And I want to send that message to long-term care communities. Maybe we need to stop, take some time, welcome people, get to know who they are. And that then sets us up for this thing that we call a care plan. Now, show of hands in the room. How many of you have ever heard of a care plan before? Raise your hand if you've heard of care plan before yesterday when Lisa came in and started talking to you guys.
Just Mark.
Just Mark. Mark is the only one. And we heard from you, many of you guys, you've lived there for a while. Some of you haven't. So that is really surprising to me because care plans are something that are mandated. That is a rule. It's a federal and state rule. Care plans have to happen on everybody. And in nursing homes, they have to happen every 3 months. So it's kind of surprising to me that you guys don't know that word, care plan. Now, some people may not call it a care plan. Maybe they say, we're going to get together and talk about you. Has anyone ever heard somebody come along and say that to them? We're going to have this meeting and we're going to be talking about you. Has that ever happened?
I've heard it.
What,
I
Mark?
have heard of it, but I've not yet to see anybody do it.
Okay, okay. Anybody else?
No.
So this is really eye-opening. This is really, really eye-opening because this is something that has to happen in long-term care. So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and explain what a care plan meeting is supposed to be. Okay? A care plan meeting is supposed to be where we all gather around. People come together, people that work there, as well as people that are the care providers, as well as the person themselves and anybody else that person wants to attend that meeting. So it could be anybody in the building that is a cohort to you that you want to make sure they're aware of your needs and your wants and your desires. Or it could be a family member, or it could be an extra neighbor from home. It could be a high school buddy. It could be anybody it is that you want to attend that meeting. And that meeting is supposed to be centered around developing a document that is kind of your directions for a good life. What would make a good life for you? And it includes everything in there, from medication to your activities of daily living, which can include bathing, dressing, grooming, all that sort of stuff, walking. But it also should include things about your quality of your life, like what makes you happy, how do you like to spend the day, and stuff like that. So has anyone ever really talked to you about, has anyone had any conversations like that with you?
No.
No. Okay. Okay. So it seems like there's some work to be done here. Would you like to have a meeting like that where people came together to talk about what you need in order to have a good life in living in that long-term care community?
Would be nice. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
What would be the value for you personally in having that?
It's like somebody taking more interest in your actual needs, and they learn a little bit more about you, and just to know what you cannot do, things like that. Learn about your medications, what they're for, and just having everybody in a group, the people that you work or that work for you, help take care of you, so that way they have a better understanding.
Okay. Mark, what would you like to see on your care plan? What would you personally like to see on that for you?
For myself, it would be if a medication changes or if medication is added or DC. That's something that they don't come and tell you. If you know you're going to get a medication, that's about all the information you get. You don't know what it is or when they're going to start it or if something's been taken away. So yeah, for me, it would be the medication.
Medication is important for you. Do they tell you what the pill is for that you're taking?
Yeah, most generally, if it's something that I need and I ask for it, then I already know what it's for or what it's gonna do. But you have to ask to get it. It seems like, instead of the nursing knowing that you need something or you need a change if something's not working for you. So that way in a care plan meeting, you have a chance to bring it up and understand why a doctor took your prescription away, the reasoning, or added something. I don't think that's really expressed too much.
So that is something you really want to be in control of knowledge
Yes,
around the issue of medication for yourself, because
Yes.
that is something that is important for you. You're putting it in your body. It's something you want to be able to know what that's supposed to be doing, how that's supposed to be helping you. So you want to be empowered with that information.
yes, and I think a lot of people here, they don't know if they're getting a medication change, if the family is involved, if they're being notified, if something's being added or taken away. I don't think that information gets out there.
Okay. That's really, thank you for sharing that. Barbara, how about you? For your care plan, for your directions on how you want your life to live, what is important for you to have on that?
Well, I really don't know. I'd like for CNNs when I ring for them and I want something done, I want it done, I'm going to my neighbor and asking her. I do it, ask it, and they go to my neighbor to do it. And I asked them this morning to make my bed, and all they done was strip it. I laid in there on the mattress, no sheets. I finally asked them, I said, I wanted to go make my bed. Oh, only a little while. You know, that's just the way it goes and everything. I like to see the CNN's doing a little bit more work than what they do.
Okay. So you would like, on your care plan itself, you would like to see, so it sounds to me like the tidiness of your room, having your bed made is important to you.
Cause I like to have a clean bed, I like to have it my way of making it. You know, do you have to have, I said, yeah, that's my way, and that's why I like to make it, then make it.
So that's important to you. So that would be something.
On my medicines and stuff, I know all my medicines because I've had taken them for years. But like you said, if you get a new one, you're gonna know you're gonna get a new one. So when is it going to be taken away or anything like that? So that's very important.
Okay. So really that relationship with the nurses' aides is important to you.
I
Being,
like for people to understand Mark and me with our legs taken off, that we are in pain and we are have difficult to set any length of time. And where a lot of them don't understand what I'm going through. Well, what makes it? I said, well, it's your nerve. And after that, well, what do you do for it? What do you do for it? Well, there ain't nothing.
so you want to share your knowledge about what it feels like to be an amputee,
Yeah,
be able to share that with staff, how that feels, and that just because your leg is not there does not mean that you still do not feel pain.
yeah.
Yeah, you feel pain there because your nerves are actually still active. And so you're feeling pain, and that's important for staff to know about you because this is important in your world. So really good insight. Thank you for sharing that, Barbara. That's a very valuable thing for me to hear as well. So thank you. Thank you. I'm going to move to Rose to ask this same question. Rose, we've heard about medication, we've heard about the room, and we've heard about my physical condition. But for you, Rose, when you introduced yourself to me, you said you were just this 5-foot little lady, you're a little short person, and I'm sure that you have some of your own particular needs and desires that you would like to see on that plan of care. What would be the important thing for staff to know about you that you would like to see on your plan of care?
Oh my God, I can't even think of anything. Be truthful with you. Everything's been going so smooth and you know, right for me that I don't necessarily need anything else.
Well, that's wonderful to hear.
Happy the way I am and what I get the care I'm getting and all that good stuff.
That's,
Okay,
yeah, I love to hear that. So you feel like all your needs are being met.
yeah, that's right.
You're feeling good about stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, would it be important to you, Rose, if I was to ask you, how do you like to spend the day? How do you like to spend the day? What do you like to do?
And I'll answer that one.
Oh, I like to
Yeah.
work on my.
We'll get to you, Mark.
And, and stuff like that. Read if I got anything interesting to read. I love to read. But I do most of my day crossword puzzles and stuff like that, which I really enjoy. But I think that's my day.
Would you like to see,
I watch TV too.
okay? Would you like to see that if I was a new staff member? Would you like to see that on the directions or on your care plan? Would you like to see that Rose likes to spend the day watching TV, doing crossword puzzles and or reading? So make sure she's got books that she likes, crossword puzzles to do, and that remote control is by her side so she can do it. Would you like to see that on your directions for your life?
Yes, I would.
And I'm betting that's not on your care plan. That's something that we should get on your care plan, isn't it? So that is something that
Yeah.
would be important for you to have, because that's how you spend your day. So
Yeah.
that's information that can very, very easily go onto a plan of care for somebody. How they want to spend the day. It should be including information like that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Shayla, I want to ask you some questions. Do you have a particular way? I'm sure you had an event in your life. Do you want to share what brought you to the long-term care community? If you don't want to, you do not have to.
I just had a stroke. No idea I was gonna have one. Of course not. Nobody does.
Yep.
So-
And that brought you to have to need rehab. So you're in the long-term care community right now. And I am betting that you had a world that you were doing prior to that stroke that looks very different than the world that you have now.
Most definitely is.
So what would you like to see on your plan of care so that you have the life that you want?
I just want to know my personal needs and my personal likes and stuff like that.
Your personal needs and your personal likes. Okay, and from there, if that was on there, and then as a staff person, if I came in and I said, can you share with me one of your personal likes?
Yeah.
What's one of your personal likes, Shayla?
Be around my family and friends.
Be around your family and friends. So if I was a staff member and I saw pictures even of your family and friends, or I saw some of your family and friends coming in to visit and said, why don't you bring Shayla some pictures? She loves to be around you guys. And when she's not there, she had some pictures of you. That would be so cool. Would that make you feel good as a staff member that I had that recognition that this was important for you?
Absolutely is.
Okay, and that's all stuff. That's what this is about. These things that I'm talking about come off of a tool called the Artifacts of Culture Change. This is a tool that we encourage long-term care communities to use in order to see how they're doing in providing good person-centered, person-directed living. And so, like we said, this is a part of what this care plan is supposed to do is include preferences and accommodations for people. I have a question about going outside. Do you guys all like to go outside? Anybody here not like to go outside ever?
I love to go outside.
Daryl, do you like to go outside, Daryl?
Do you like to go outside, Daryl?
Yeah.
You do. Okay. If you were told that you couldn't go outside, how would that make you feel?
Better.
Mad? It would make you feel mad? Did I hear that correctly?
If they said you cannot go outside, would it make you sad or angry, or would you be okay with it?
You okay with that?
You'd be okay with it?
Okay. Okay. Now, how about the rest of you? Has anyone ever been told that they couldn't go outside?
Just a few times. but it was according to the weather.
because of the weather.
Yeah.
So prior,
They changed their mind. They ended up letting us do it anyway. We were just, needed to limit our time. But they didn't really try to stop us. They just was more concerned about the weather and somebody being outside, getting frostbite or, overdoing it.
understandable, but you know what you can handle and what you can't handle, right?
Yeah.
So if you're gonna go outside, I'm not gonna be out there long. I just want to get a breath of fresh air in the middle of the winter, just to kind of clear my lungs, and I'll come right back in, but I just needed to get outside. Good, because
Yeah.
you have that right. And that's also something that the care plan should include. Per the federal regulations, it says the residence care plan should include preferences and accommodations needed for going outdoors. So that's something that we want to make sure that you have as well. I'm curious about music now for everybody. Is music important to anybody?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Who says music is important to them? Raise your hand.
Said what?
Everyone said it.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody said it? Okay. So music is important. So, Barbara, I'm going to go to you, Barbara. Can you tell me about what type of music and why music is important to you?
Oh, I love to listen to country, western music. I love it. I'm more of a country person, and I just love country music. And I wish I had a radio so I can listen to it. I don't like this jazz and other stuff that they have nowadays. I love a good old country music.
So how does country music make you feel?
Good.
Does it bring back memories for you?
A lot of them.
A lot of them. Isn't it amazing what music can do for us, huh? And you don't have access to a radio to be able to listen to it.
No, I don't have one. I like one. My daughter get like have one and put it in there. Then Lindsay, will you shut that thing off?
So maybe you need some headphones too?
Yeah. That's
Maybe
another
that would be-
one right there.
Now, if that was on your care plan, Barbara likes country music and likes to listen to it throughout the day. Make sure she's got headphones and her radio in order to listen to the music of her choice. How would that make you feel if that was on your
Yeah.
care plan?
Hey, and if I want to listen to TV and I have her turn hers up loud, and I can still listen to mine with the headphones. So that is one of my goals, and I like. Just if I want a TV program, I want it just like everybody. You got a certain one, and I like certain programs, and she wants music, and monsters. And I like a good western.
So that can be hard when you have two roommates living together and you both have different wants.
Yeah.
So again, that's where having that care plan of what it is that you want and what it is that she wants, because both are just as important.
But she rather just sit in her window and worry about some squirrels coming up and getting something to eat and talking to them.
Yep. Well, she has that window and you don't have that window, so you don't get to look outside. Yeah. So Mark, I heard you say when I said, who likes music? You're like, oh yeah. So Mark, tell us about what type of music you like.
Well, like some of the newer country, I like to listen to just about anything. I try to keep up a little bit on the new stars coming out, music, stuff like that. But it gives me more like energy, to have something to listen to. So I like doing that in my spare time.
No.
Do you get to do that?
Yes, I do. I play music on my phone, and for myself, I kind of keep it turned down so my neighbor don't have to hear it. But I get to listen to it pretty well every day.
That's wonderful.
Or take it outside.
So Mark, would you consider asking for that to get on your care plan so that people know that that's something that's important to you?
Yeah, that would be good. So that way they know. And the girls, when they come in to do stuff, if I need help with it or something like that, that they know that I have it. So yeah, that would be good.
Okay, so that's something you would like to see on your care plan,
Yes.
the music that you like to see. Now, I also understand that you worked in long-term care as well.
Yes, I did for about 15 years, 10 to 15.
15 years. Wow. Is that why you knew about what a care plan is, or did you know about it because of
And, well, years ago, I worked in the emergency room, and of course, we would get people from the nursing home that would come in, and they usually had somebody, come in with them, and they would talk a little bit about it. But I learned more about it after I went into the nursing home and started working. I also did medical records, so I could read a lot of their records and see their likes, their dislikes, because everything's in a care plan about who you are, your family, who's there to kind of represent you family wise. So I learned a lot about that.
have you ever seen your own care plan?
No, I have not.
Would you like to see something like that?
Yes, I would. It would be very interesting.
You have that right to see your care plan and get a copy of that.
Yes,
you know?
I understand that I can ask for a care plan meeting anytime that I want to. So
You can also ask to get that document, that document of the care plan. Also, Barbara, and I want to make sure that you guys all, Barbara, Rose, Shayla, and Daryl, you guys all hear that. Would you like a copy of your care plan? Because you all have one, believe it or not. You have one.
And they all said yes.
They would. Have any of you ever gotten a copy of your care plan?
no.
They all said no.
Okay. So I think that's a very strong message to hear as well, isn't it? Let's get a copy of that care plan because then you can read it. What would be the advantage of getting a copy of your care plan? Shayla, can you give me an answer on that one? What would be the advantage if you had a copy of that?
That way, if they try to say something different, like if I don't want something like this or I don't want something like that, I have it on paper and it's proof that I can show them so they can read.
Hold them accountable. You get to hold them accountable. You're empowered now to hold people accountable for how you want to be treated.
Right.
That sounds really cool to me. I really like that. I really do like it.
Care plan, all I have to do is read it and see for themselves.
And would you be comfortable, Shayla, in asking if you saw something on there that you disagreed with to say, I don't agree with this and I'd like it to say this instead?
Yes.
Would you be comfortable saying that to them?
Yes.
Good, because that's what it should be. It should be a tool of that's a conversation happens around. So I am assuming, since none of you knew about a care plan, what a care plan was, except for Mark, have any of you ever attended a meeting? And I think I did ask this, but I want to clarify it. Have any of you ever attended a meeting where a bunch of staff got together and you were in the room and they were talking about you?
No. No.
So none of you have been invited to your care plan. That means you were not invited to your care plan meeting. Because that meeting that they have, sometimes I've found that people don't understand that it was a care plan meeting. They just thought people were just getting together they didn't really understand.
Now, if they do a care plan on somebody, well, like me, since as long as I've been here, I've never heard them talk about a care plan for me or a meeting, or if they go in and change things on their own and don't involve me. You don't know what all, since I've never seen my own paperwork, I don't know exactly what's on it, and if there's changes that I want made. So all that information, I don't know exactly what they do have. I've never seen it, so I don't know.
Wow. I'm curious now for all of those that are listening to this, that are in this meeting right now. We've got 30 people in here. I'm curious how that makes you feel. How does that make all of you feel that are listening to this right now? Put it into the chat. How does that make you feel knowing that there is a document out there that exists on everyone that's sitting in this room with us right now? Mark, Barbara, Rose, Shayla, and Daryl. There's a document out there that talks about how it's supposed to talk about how they want their life to look, and they've never even seen that. I'm wondering how that would make you feel. I'm really curious about that because for me, it feels like, I always say it's rude to talk about people behind their back. I kind of feel that way in life. And I feel like that's kind of what we're doing when we don't invite people to their care plan meetings. We're talking about them behind their back. We're making a lot of assumptions about who they are. And the meeting would be so much easier if we just said to the resident, okay, Mark, medication. So what is it exactly that you want with us in regards to medication? What would be your response?
I would just say, well, I want to be involved in it and see, you know, what medications I need, if they're documented correctly, or if anything's taken away, you know, that I know about it. That way
And
I-
what a great goal.
Say what?
And that would be a great goal. The goal could
It's
be,
important. I think everyone
let-
knowing.
let Mark know what's going on with his medication every time that a change is made so that he can be fully aware and empowered with what is going on with his medication. I think, great, that's easy. Okay, so this is how care plans could be written, right? Wouldn't it be easy for staff? I just think that that would be really interesting. So because you have not had ever been invited to a meeting, I am wondering, has anyone ever heard that their family was invited to the nursing home for a meeting to talk about you and you weren't included in that meeting?
Oh, I haven't since a family member, no.
No? Okay. Okay. 'Cause sometimes we've seen that families are invited to these meetings, but the resident themselves, the person who lives there, the person who it's all about, is not invited to that meeting. So I'm not hearing that that is happening, so that's good. Also, there was another question here.
Mark has a question.
Okay.
I
Go ahead.
kind of wondering, or would like to know if, I have one daughter, she's not my power of attorney yet, but, when a medication change happens or something happens and I have to go to the hospital or something, shouldn't she be notified? I mean, they always know that I want her to know what's going on, but sometimes I don't, she's never got a phone call or anything like that. But shouldn't that be the appropriate steps? Regardless, and say if the family wants to know, you know, shouldn't they pick up the phone and tell them what's going on? Especially if you're in the hospital, but
Now, they do with me, my daughter is a power of attorney, but, and every time I get any new medicine, I go to the hospital, she is notified.
Okay.
And maybe call her in for a meeting.
yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know. But
yeah.
who the heck comes in and they talk to her about it. And if anything's changed, something I have happened to me or something like fallen and hurt myself, or something like that, she is notified right away.
So I'm hearing two different things and you both live in the same place. So
Yeah.
it sounds like with you, Barbara, they're letting your daughter know. And with you, Mark, they're not. So that's curious. That piques my curiosity, right? And Barbara, you mentioned that your daughter is your power of attorney. And Mark, your daughter isn't your power of attorney, right? She's just your representative,
Right.
just that you want to include. Now, to understand, a power of attorney does not kick in until I lose my voice. So even though your daughter is your power of attorney, she won't
Yeah.
start making decisions in what you wanted until you lost your voice. Like my daughter's my power of attorney. My daughter's my power of attorney, and my doctor would never call her about anything unless I wanted him to do that.
Okay. She has, a right or something about my medicine and all that.
So that would be kind of like power.
Yeah,
attorney, wouldn't it?
well, no, it's a power of attorney, but it's called something else. That she can also tell them that she can have that medicine or she can't have that.
Okay, that's sounding a little bit like guardianship, but I don't know if that's.
I don't know what it is, but something like that. She has got the power of attorney. Even when she goes in the hospital, I go in the hospital, the doctors will ask her if she can have that medicine. And
So,
knowing about it, she does.
and Barbara, is that what you want? Do you want your daughter to be that person for you?
Yes, I
To
do.
do that even now, right now, you want her to do that for you. So that is something that should be in your care plan. That for your daughter to be called and for you defer your decisions to your daughter in regards to making those choices. And then for you, Mark, it should be in your care plan that you would like your daughter informed of all of these things, but you still want to make those, you want to as well be informed, and you want to be the decision maker, but you do want your daughter to know about this, and that would be in your care plan.
Yeah.
This is how individualized.
Yeah, so I don't know what it is, what it says it now, how it is.
Hi.
Yeah, so that's important. That's important to have, to get that information onto that care plan document so that your own personal wishes get clarified and get documented as such.
Well, that kind of shows me how much the nursing home, the nurses, the staff knows. If everybody knows, I mean, it's gonna be hard for them to know every single person's, care plan. But for the family to know and myself, I wanna see exactly what is in there since I've never actually seen it.
Yeah, and you should see it, which I'm thinking you're gonna have an action item at the end of this meeting. I'm thinking you're going to be doing something there, Mark, which is perfectly good. That's
Yes.
really great. Yeah, so I'm glad that you're feeling more empowered by part of the information that we're sharing today, because that's important. And I'm hoping that it does increase that awareness for you. So with that same breath, talking about the family and being informed of medication, I'm curious if there was a care plan meeting, and I'm going to throw this one over to Rose. Rose, if there was a care plan meeting for you, would you want anybody else to attend that meeting? Family members, or even maybe your nurse's aide who cares for you, who you like a lot, some staff member in the building?
With my kids, as far as that's concerned. Ben, Angela, and Renee, I'd like for them to be there.
Okay, your kids?
And let's see, well, right offhand, that's all I can think of.
Would you like to see do you have any staff member that you would particularly like to have attend that meeting?
Oh, my, probably is, if I can remember which one it is. I don't know right off.
No, you can't think of anybody. Okay, but I heard you want your kids invited. You want your kids invited to that meeting, your daughters.
Yeah.
Okay, how about Shayla? Shayla, what are your thoughts on this? Would you want anybody to attend? Be honest, if you want it or you don't want it. Do you want somebody to attend?
Absolutely, I want all my family to be there.
Okay. Is there a staff member? Would you want a staff member there? Any particular staff member?
Yeah, there's probably a certain few that I want there,
And why would you want that?
because they already act like they care about me.
They care about you, so you want them there because you know they care about you.
Yeah.
Now that's really heartwarming to hear that. You know they care about you, so you want them to be a part of that meeting, and they can help, maybe even, making sure that your story gets told completely to the people that are writing this document about you. So that's, Daryl, would you want your family at a care plan meeting? If you had a care plan meeting, would you like them there in attendance?
Would you like your family in attendance at a meeting, care plan meeting for you, Daryl?
Yes.
You would, okay. And Mark, Mark and Barbara, how about you? You both, would you like your family member there or not there?
Oh, yes, I would, because my daughter's a nurse, and so she would definitely catch things that I wouldn't, but it'd be nice for her to just know where I stand as far as my health goes, but yeah.
Okay,
We need favorite aides, because I pretty well do everything on my own, so.
My daughter is out of state, so it's kind of hard for her to get here for a meeting. But I'd like for her to know about it and what has been said about it and everything. Cause I've got 2 children, and that's all I got. And I like my son to yet, can't know where he's at. Maybe I'm hoping if somebody sees this, say, hey, I think I saw your mom. And so he will know where I'm at, if he wants to come see me, But, yeah, she's out of state, and she comes back to Illinois, but I don't look to her to be back.
would you like it what about if they called her? when they
Yeah.
had the meeting,
Yeah,
and she could be a part of it on the phone.
yeah, that'll work.
You would
Okay.
like something like that.
Yeah.
And understanding that sometimes we might need to work with family members. The time that the meeting is occurring might not actually work for a family member.
If
So,
she knows ahead of time, about it and everything, so she can, get the time off from work and stuff like that.
yep. And most family members do that. They'll take time away from work, or they'll be able to call in on a break so that they can make sure that they're there for their loved ones so they can hear what people are saying. Because I think it's very important when we have a loved one and we want them to be a part of the meeting. Most times they also want to be a part of the meeting because they want to know what's going on. And by including them in on that loop, makes them call the building a lot less. Because like your daughter, you mentioned, Mark, is a nurse. And I'm sure as a nurse, she's got some clinical questions about you. And that might be why you're concerned about your medication. Because your daughter's probably always like, why are you taking this pill? Why did they increase this? Why did they do that? Why? And so she wants to understand that. But if they would have given her the information up front, she wouldn't be calling them all the time and asking those questions. She was a part of the team to talk about it and make sure that that's all going well and being documented right. So really, yeah, so I'm hearing a couple of things. One of the things I'm hearing is that all of you guys were not really aware, besides Mark, of this meeting, this document first. Let's start with the document, that there was this document that exists for all of you that has directions for how you want your life to look. I've heard that very clearly. I've also heard that you would like to be able to see this document, to see what it is that they are saying about you, so you can verify it and you can provide input. Am I on target so far? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Am I good, or am I on? Yes? Okay. I'm also hearing that you have loved ones that you would like to be involved more with knowing what these care plans, what this document, what these directions look like for you. And I've also heard that you also want staff to know who you are. That's something that's important to you. If they knew who you were, it would make you feel more comfortable and feel better and happier about where you live, because you would feel more cared for. Am I correct in everything I said?
Yeah. It's just, the only thing I've got to say about that is, it's just sad that we're always shorthanded, and the girls, they try to do their best. And for people that's been here for quite a while, they know their background and stuff like that. But the people they don't know about, or has just gotten here, they don't get the time to spend with them. Chit chat with them a little bit, kind of find out a little bit of their background. So the girls don't know that much about some of us that are new here.
Yeah. And we hear that from a lot of residents. Many people that live in long-term care care just as much about the staff as the staff do about them. And they understand and they recognize that there's a lot of pressure on that direct care staff. And so you don't want to make it more complicated for them. And we understand that. But sometimes when we do things like we're talking about, by them understanding who you are and what you need and all that, we can sometimes save staff time. Because now, like I said, the daughter wouldn't be calling in the middle of, I'm a nurse, I'm passing medication, and now your daughter's calling Mark because she wants to understand why dad all of a sudden has gotten an increase in one of his medications. So now I've got to go lock my cart. I've got to take the cart away. I've got to bring the cart back. I got to take the phone call, and it makes it much more time for me. But if the daughter was included in that meeting and we talked about this stuff, it would make it easier for me as that floor nurse. Or while I am giving care as a nurse's aide, I'm encouraged to talk to you to find out. We're making the bed. We heard Barbara. It's really important for Barbara to have that made bed, to have that tidy room. When someone's in there, it's for Barbara to be in there with them, even maybe helping, because she said she's particular on what it is that she wants to see, and talking about who you are, Barbara, what it is that you like to do, how important your daughter is to you, what your relationship is like with your son. I mean, So things can sometimes happen naturally through the course of life that we don't have to create more time for some of these things to happen as well. So I want to encourage, go ahead, Barbara.
If I start to talk to somebody about me, they just, oh, have it off, oh, you don't know what to, and then, and stuff like that, they just walk out and say, that's not important, you know. If that's me, I was growing up like that. And I love this stuff. I love all the animals, I love,
So did I hear you correctly, Barbara, that you were saying that you don't like to talk about me yourself? That's something,
oh, no, I can talk to you, yes, freely, I think I could. And tell all about me from day one, if you wanted to know. How I was raised, where I was raised, all that, if you wanted to know. Yeah. I think I can do that.
okay, well, it sounds to me, because when you guys went around the room, none of you guys had any problem with where you're living. You like where you live. You like your existence, but this is about bringing it up, making it even better, a better world, right? That's what this is about. So this isn't criticism of the community. We're helping to teach them, because this is your home. You're helping to mentor them, to teach them how they could do it better for those who live there, so that you can all have that great quality to your life and that increase that greater connectedness. And that can only happen through you guys using your voice and sharing like you've been able to share with all of us today, which I truly appreciate. Do any of you guys, anybody in the room, any of you all have any questions? Any responses, answers? How did this conversation make you feel today?
Good.
It makes you feel pretty good to know that there are people out there that do care. I mean, like you said, there are busy people or busy nursing homes, and they just don't have the time to come by and sit by your bed or talk to you for 5 minutes because they got 10 other people down the hall, needing help. So they just don't have that time. You have to be able to spend with one person at a time.
So maybe if I worked there, maybe I need to see about making that time, somehow figuring out how I could create 5 more minutes so I could spend it with you, Mark, to find out about the music that you like to listen to and how important medication, knowledge about your own medication is for you. And that might be better for me. It will make me be more connected to you and you more connected to me. So that's what this is all about. That's what care planning is really all about. So I want you guys to remember this word, care plans. Yeah. What did you say, Barbara?
She was a fan of her, so I said, yes, it's getting a little warm.
It's getting a little warm in here, Lee.
It is. Okay. Well, with that, I just want to see, does anybody that has listened to any of this today have any comments that they would like to share? I did see in the chat that really one of the comments has just been that really the resident should be the center of these plans. And how can you really make a person-centered care plan without talking to people? So this was valuable for some people to hear. So if anybody does have any questions, I am just going to stop the recording right now, but I want to thank Mark, Barbara, Rose, Shayla, Daryl. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day and spending that with us at our Resident Family Support Council so that we can all grow and do better by hearing from you. So I want to thank you for that. With that, I'm going to stop recording.